Okay, Coach, we are in the so-called rock and roll capital of the world, Cleveland, Ohio, at First Energy Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. The folks here in Cleveland, even though all the down years, have never stopped supporting their hometown guys, and we got evidence of that a moment ago as the Browns made their entrance. They are ready to do battle with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his second season, James Conner, and he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
On second down, Conner looking for space. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Really good stop there by the end in this 4-3 defense.
Yeah, not just pass rushers anymore, are they? Those guys can use their hands, control the point of attack, shed those blockers, and go get those ball carriers.
Throwing on third down, here's Rudolph. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On first and 10, Rudolph. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. Smith-Schuster, by the way, became the youngest player in NFL history to reach 200 receptions. He accomplished that Week 9 in the victory over Indianapolis. So a first and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 38. First carry of the game for Jalen Samuels. And his first carry, he loses the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. Mayfield now after the fumble recovery. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Here's second and 10 now from the 35. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now a pass hauled in downfield. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
Yeah, we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got us a turnover. We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he's taken down inside the 30. 11 yards there, first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Give them a couple on the catch. It's second and 8.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Throwing, Mayfield, and his throw is incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. 7th play of the drive forthcoming on 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield, and that is incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
So on 4th down, out comes the Browns kicker, Austin Seibert. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. Seibert able to knock this one through. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Pittsburgh Steelers trot back onto the field here. As we said earlier, they're 4-4 now, and they've won 4 of 5. Mike Tomlin, after the game, said a couple of interesting kind of funny things. Said, happy to be at 500 at the turn, trying to get that September stench off of us where they struggled. He said it's also good to be sitting at 4-4, and I never thought I'd hear myself say that.
And he's right about that because when you're in Pittsburgh, you never expect to be 4-4, especially having to battle to get to be 4-4. So next up, road trip to face the LA Rams. Then they're at Cleveland for a big divisional game on a Thursday night. And then they're at Cincinnati before they host the Browns again at Heinz Field. Second meeting in a 3-week span. So a lot can go into what's going on with Pittsburgh right here, right now, this stretch. Forget the September stench. Can they all of a sudden have a November deodorant that they're proud of?
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner, and with good timing, you get a completion as we just saw there.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Your trip is here.
Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Check 53 is mine. Watch the run.
On 2nd down now, it's Connor. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Rudolph. And that is incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Charles, as Cleveland gets set to start this next drive, you know, things are really unraveling for the Browns. 4 straight losses now after the loss against Denver in Week 9. And that loss to Denver was against a team that was struggling themselves and had a quarterback making his first career start.
Struggling doesn't even begin to say what they were facing against that offense, because Denver, when I saw them against Kansas City, and you know how Kansas City struggled on defense, they destroyed Denver's offense. Sacked the quarterback 9 times, didn't permit the running game to get started. Not much going on good in Denver, but when you talk about Cleveland, the thing that surprises me the most, they're not getting blown out. They just don't know how to win close games, and that's something that has to happen, and shouldn't be a real surprise considering what their recent history has been. 0-16, learning how to win. They've got to figure out a way to get over the hump.
Yeah, 2-6, and now coming up, they'll play Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Miami. They need wins, and they need them in a hurry. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him. And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
A little bit of daylight on that first down run sets him up nicely. 8 yards on the carry. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. It's caught. Beckham. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Yeah, they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Fights off the defender. They'll wind up with 7 on the dump-off, but it'll set up 3rd down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
They'll try to run for the 1st down with Hunt. And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
A 1st down throw from Mayfield. He'll get that complete to the tight end, Harris. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They go with Chubb on second down, and he'll take this down for about 4 yards down to the 15.
That's it, baby.
That was a nice run, a nice game there as they head towards the 2-minute warning.
The Browns on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
These guys had to settle for a field goal their last time moving the ball down the field. They may have to do it again on this drive. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but at least they were able to get 3 last time. 3 here, not the worst thing in the world. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. Seibert's kick is good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Rudolph. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the second down pass play only went for 2. Here's Rudolph. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
Let's go.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Good. 180. Yeah. You don't want none.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again. What's up?
They give it off here to the tight end. And, oh, that is going to be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Oh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do or, I guess, don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Well, hey, we talked about the AFC playoff picture. Let's look at the NFC. That's a different story. You've got Dallas and Philly neck and neck in the East. Then Green Bay, New Orleans, and San Francisco as division leaders. But with only 2 more wild card spots, going to be some good teams left out in the cold in January.
Yeah, because right now you got Seattle at 7-2, Minnesota 6-3. They would be in as of right now. But the Rams 5-3. Carolina, and whoever doesn't win the East out of either Dallas or Philadelphia, this is going to be a heck of a battle, isn't it? People are going to have an effect on this conference with every game that's played, maybe even teams that aren't in the conference. Because if you lose to someone, anyone, it could knock you out of the race.
Watch the screen.
One more time, they'll keep it on the ground. And it would appear he's going to be short of a first down as he stopped right around the 29. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. $51 yards on the punt there. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself. And
now Mayfield lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. They get just a yard back there, and now they'll be looking at a tough 3rd and 15. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
3rd and long for Mayfield. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it would appear they will not be able to add to their lead on this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, if another touchdown was scored there, now we're talking about a 2-score game, and they're probably on their way of creating an excellent gap between them and their pursuers. But how about the defense there, able to step up and keep themselves in this one?
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally, because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Give the tackle there to Morgan Burnett.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. On the counter, it's Connor. And an alley to run. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Right back to Connor here on 1st. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target, but it'll be 2nd down.
Just work with me a second here, because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football. I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, I feel like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Shotgun snap for Rudolph. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Boswell signed to a 4-year deal prior to last season, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, do you think that they saw 13 of 20 when they signed him to a 4-year deal?
Not at all.
Needs a big bounce back in 2019 if he wants to see the end of that contract.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's brought in by Harris. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. A run for Nick Chubb, and not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Oh, boy, I know you felt that one. I know you felt that one.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Browns on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, Mayfield. Able to find Harris, complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield, marking down at the 49. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. 1st down, Mayfield. He gets it complete to Harris. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Get him, boy.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Mayfield on play action. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield, and he's got the hook up to Landry. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And maybe Shane's in the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down.
Let's get it. 180. Here we go,
Mayfield to throw it. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. From 8 yards out. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So now the Steelers down on the scoreboard. 1:52 to play. They need a touchdown and, of course, the 2-point conversion as well.
60 yards. Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop. Ready.
Now it's Rudolph. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense.
Hey,
Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. They'll look to throw. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
1st down now, but the clock continues to move. Rudolph. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
Back to throw. And his throw here is incomplete. Now, the intended receiver out of the backfield was Jalen Samuels, and it's third down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And he finds McDonald. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 40.
I'm a little surprised right here. They've got 3 timeouts left. The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. This quarterback now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it first and 10. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Rudolph now to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this Browns defense stands tall. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. And now the Browns coming out on the field. Down to one knee goes Mayfield, and that's all she wrote. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger. And dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Browns, and they're happy in the dog pound as we say so long from Cleveland.